Welcome to Pet Pals. Each week we like to introduce you to some of the adoptable animals here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. I'm Bethany Davidson, I'm the humane educator here, and Tammy Benson is one of our volunteers. So first up today we have one of our new cats to the adoption floor. This is Mila, and she is approximately 3 to 4 years old. She came to us as a stray, and what we've discovered pretty quickly is that she's super friendly in her cage. We just color-coded her orange, which is just individually average, but she is a little nervous out here being, taken away from her cage where she started to get a little bit more comfortable, and she doesn't really know why she's out here on set today. She has a very beautiful coat. She is considered a Torby. So for those of you who might not know, what that means is they have the same type of coloring almost as a tortoiseshell cat. So they have like those oranges and blacks and things mixed in, but that's combined with a tabby cat. So she has also like the brown tabby type of coloring mixed in there as well. These types of cats with these color patterns are almost exclusively female. It's a genetic marker, and they can be known for a little bit of tortitude, if you will. They can be a little sassy, a little bit of a diva, but I haven't seen any of those tendencies yet from Mila. She's just been very sweet in her cage, purring, but just a little bit unsure as she is very new to the adoption floor. Volunteers are going to be spending time with her, and they're going to start to get to know her, and you can always check out our Facebook page. All of the animals have their pictures posted, and a lot of times volunteers will go post their interactions with the animals underneath, so that can give you more of an idea before you come in what their personalities might be like. Those color codes are also going to help you figure out which animal is going to best fit your lifestyle in your home. If you are interested in Mila, you can come meet her here at Frederick County Animal Control. We are open to the public 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Our next guest is one of the many kittens on our adoption floor right now. This is Smokey. He's a little bit older, a little bit bigger than maybe some of the other kittens. He's about, at this point, 5.5 months old, and he's a little bit of a bigger guy. He's not that cute little 3-pound kitten, but he weighs about 5 pounds 5 ounces, and he is an all gray cat. And what's sometimes people are like, maybe there's nothing to make them stand out and make them there's no color patterns or spots, but what I like about some of the cats that are just solid colors is that it really draws your attention to their other features. Sometimes those patterns can take away from other things that make them unique. For example, the shape of his face is very unique. He has like a very long muzzle or snout, if you will. It's kind of a very distinguished face that he has, and he has some light striping in his tail that's really cute and quirky. So if you look at the cats with the solid colors, it more commonly comes up with black cats. How can you tell them apart? But if you really look, you can see lots of subtle differences in them. He is color-coded yellow, which means he can be a little shy at first. In his cage, where most of the animals have gotten comfortable, he's very outgoing. He's right at the front of his cage. You start petting him, he purrs immediately. Even on the cat floor, when I picked him up, he was purring. He was very happy, and then we started to move a little bit and came out here, and he was a little unsure. But the longer he sits here, the more he starts to settle in, starting to get curious about the toys and things that are around. So you just want to take that into consideration. Shy cats in the shelter does not necessarily equate to a shy cat in the home. It's all about environment and just giving them that time to get adjusted. But you do want to be willing, if you are adopting a cat or a dog or any animal that's listed as shy here, to be a little bit more patient, take a little bit more time to let them adjust before giving them full run of your home. If you're interested in Smokey, you can visit him here at Animal Control. Our address is 1832 Rosemont Avenue. We currently have several black cats on our adoption floor, and Ivy is just one of those. A lot of people are concerned about, Halloween, and are we going to adopt out black cats? And the answer is yes, because our adoption process safeguards, people who are just, maybe looking to adopt a black cat for a nefarious reason. So you have to come in, and everybody in the family has to meet, and you have to make sure that your landlord approves, or we have tax records to reflect select home ownership. We have to make sure that all your animals are rabies vaccinated, and we don't do same-day adoption. So we are going to continue to adopt out black cats to loving families, regardless of the upcoming Halloween holiday. And a lot of people will say, oh, well, black cats are bad luck. Well, in this country, they do kind of have that negative connotation. But in pretty much every other country, black cats are a symbol of good fortune, good luck. They're going to bring you good things. It's even in one country, if a black cat walks in front of a bride on her wedding day, like that's good luck. And there's all kinds of great things about black cats in other parts of the world. So if you're looking to add a little bit of good luck, then you might consider adopting one of our many black cats, including Ivy. Ivy's about 6 to 7 years old. She was previously owned, but we don't have a profile from her owner, so we don't have any of those little informational things that we might normally have from a previously owned cat. She is a little bit overweight. She doesn't show it in her face, but she's a little overweight. She has a really sweet little face. We talked about with Smokey how his face is kind of long and narrow, and she has more of a short, round little face. And she came right up to the cage and was like, climbing the cage, wanting attention. She is pretty content right now, getting lots of attention sitting on a lap. So she's just going to be a nice overall cat. And one of the benefits of adopting a cat that's a little bit older is that you have more of an indication of what their personality is going to be long term, instead of the kitten who's still figuring out who they want to be. And they tend to have outgrown a lot of that rambunctious kitten behavior. They might get the zoomies every once in a while, but they're going to be less inclined to launch themselves off your furniture and climb your curtains and things like that. If you're interested in making sweet little Ivy part of your family, you can visit her here at the shelter. Our kennel hours are Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and Saturdays from 10 to 4. This is Kitty, and she's about 6 years old. She came to us previously owned, so it seems like her owner was moving into a treatment facility and was not able to obviously take his pet with him. So he did what we ask all the people who adopt from us, and since he was unable to rehome her on his own, he brought her back to us. Kitty was adopted from us back in 2014. About at that time, she was a 4 to 5 month old kitten, and now she is just a beautiful adult cat. She is a little bit overweight, but she's still, not as overweight as some of the other cats you may have seen, walking through the adoption floor. She weighs about 11 pounds, 15 ounces. She is a beautiful brown tabby, but her eyes are really what sets her apart. They're this really bright green, definitely draw you into her face, and then she's got that dark orangey nose. She's got some great striping on her tail. She's just a beautiful cat, and because she's a senior, any animal over 5 is considered a senior here. Not necessarily a super senior, but a little bit older. Sometimes people are less inclined to adopt those animals once they hit 5. So we've reduced their adoption fee, and you get a $20 discount when you adopt an animal from 5 to 9, and then it's $40 from 10 and up. According to her previous owner, she's lived around other cats as well as dogs. She can be a little shy, a little bit afraid of strangers and nervous, things like that, afraid of loud noises, but that's typical cat stuff. They say that she's calm, able to handle, independent. She's a lap cat, and she's also friendly and playful. They didn't list any, no health issues or anything like that. Typically they will list what they've been feeding the animals, but we change that when they come here to, make sure that they're on our diet and they're eating, healthy foods and things like that. If you are interested in meeting with Kitty, you can stop by the shelter. Our address is 1832 Rosemont Avenue, and we are open to the public Monday through Saturday. Our next guest is Tyrene, and she is one of the older kittens on the adoption floor. She's estimated to be between 6 and 8 months old, but that was back in September, so she's probably more 7 to 9 months old now. She is a beautiful gray tabby, and she came to us as a stray, so we don't have a lot of history on her. She is very outgoing, very playful, very energetic in her kennel. She's a little uneasy out here right now. There's a lot of different noises out here. She can hear them mowing the lawn outside. She can hear the air vents in here. And she just wants to get down and kind of explore and find a safe place to hang out. But in her cage, again, comes right to the front, very interested in people, wants to be petted, is vocal about asking for attention. So she just needs a little bit of time to kind of warm up to a new location, strange places, things like that. She is one of the cats that has had an upper respiratory infection while she was here with us. It is very common for cats, especially, to get those upper respiratory infections or colds while they're here staying with us. That is why we encourage all of our visitors to be very vigilant about cleaning their hands between cages, making sure that they're not really touching a lot of the animals as they're going through, because we don't want to spread those germs. Basically, it's just, how we would feel if we were to have a cold. Once they recover, we will bring them back out onto the adoption floor, which is where Tyrene is now, so that she can find a forever family. For the most part, we try to separate those animals. So the front side, when you first walk in the door, along the wall, those are going to be animals that have not yet been sick. And then on the back side, closer to the kitty cabana and the small animal room, those are the animals that have already been sick. We just want to make sure that we're limiting the animal's exposure to those germs to make sure that they stay healthy, obviously, for longer. Once they've recovered, as you can see, Tyrene is back into her normal, playful self, and she's ready to find that forever family. If you're interested in Tyrene, you can visit her here at the shelter from 10 to 5 on Monday, Tuesdays, and Fridays, on Wednesdays and Thursdays from 12 to 8, and then on Saturdays from 10 to 4. The final cat on today's show is named Silver for obvious reasons. She is a beautiful gray cat, but she has some white on her as well. She has a big white spot kind of on her chest that's very easily identifiable, and then underneath her belly she has some white there as well. She is a very petite cat, weighing in at around 6 pounds, but she is 1 to 2 years old. She's not a kitten like Smokey or Tyrene. She's an adult cat, so she does have that forever kitten thing going for her. She might fill out a little bit more, so it's because she is, has that long, lean frame. It is going to be important to make sure you're keeping her, as it always is, at a healthy weight. But she's going to have that kitten look to her for the remainder of her life, which some people are really into. They like that cute little kitten look. She was a stray, so we again don't have any background on where she came from or what kind of behavior she was displaying in a home environment. Here we've color coded her green, which kind of means the go 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 kind of energy. They're a little bit more wiggly when you're holding them, a little bit more active play style, things like that. She has recently been spayed, so all we need to do now is go ahead and find her that perfect family, because she's ready to go home. She does have that kind of energy where she wants to play. She comes right up to the front of her cage, but she's not, overwhelmingly crazy like a typical kitten would be, So you have that young cat, but a little less rambunctious, if you will. All of our cats are typically adopted for a fee of $97.50. That covers all of the medical care that we provide for them, so spay or neuter surgery, rabies vaccine, distemper vaccines, flea and tick preventative, dewormer, microchipping, which is really important, as well as county licensing and a free well visit to the vet. Right now, in the month of October, all of our animals are discounted. You can pick a discount from our trick-or-treat bag, if you will. And you can get a discount depending on what candy you pull, from anywhere from $10 to $30 off. If you're interested in Silver, you can visit with her here at Animal Control. And if you are not a cat person, stay tuned. After the break, we're going to introduce you to a handful of our adoptable dogs.
The Frederick County Sheriff's Office now offers fingerprinting services 3 days per week, from Tuesday through Thursday. Our goal is to make it more convenient for citizens to have fingerprints taken for employment, licenses, permits, and other important issues like adoption and child care services. The Sheriff's Office will continue to accept credit and debit cards, checks, and money orders as payment for fingerprint fees. Cash is not accepted. For more information, contact the Fingerprint Information Line at 301-600-4058.
Welcome back. The first dog that we have for you today is a returning guest. This is Gracie, and she is our 5-year-old bull terrier mix. When Gracie first came in, she was super scared, super shy. She was so nervous, in fact, until she warmed up to living in the kennel, that she kind of shook a little bit. She was just so scared. And now that she's gotten comfortable here, she's really showing her true personality. She's very playful. She's very outgoing. She's very kind of opinionated. Today we discovered that she really likes to have like her butt scratched, and she does this little dance where she picks up each foot one right after the other, like a little dance, because she just doesn't know what to do with herself. She loves to play with toys. She will destroy toys, so she needs to be careful with what she has unsupervised, because she will just chew through them. She loves to run and play outside. She's also been known to be a cuddler, where she will cuddle right up with you, sleep with you. When she first arrived, some of the staff were sitting with her in her bed to make her feel a little bit more comfortable, and she really enjoyed that. One of the things that you will notice about Gracie is that her tongue is perpetually hanging out of her mouth. That is because her jaw, she was born with a deformed jaw, so basically it's a little bit smaller than it should be, and her lips don't match up, so her tongue hangs out of the side because it's a little longer than will fit in there. But that doesn't stop her. As I mentioned earlier, she definitely can still destroy a good toy, any of those types of things. Because Gracie can be a little mouthy with her toys, and also because she can be a little nervous in new situations, and some other reasons, we have indicated that we would prefer that she go to a home with older children, 13 and up. We want everybody in the home to be responsible and understand body language and respecting the dog's space and things like that, so everybody can be comfortable and be set up for success. Gracie can pull a little bit, which is why we have her in a harness. These harnesses ensure that they're not going to hurt their necks. They're not going to pull so hard that maybe it might choke them, and then they might suffocate. So just being really cautious on that front. Because she is a senior, she would go home for a discount, that $20 reduction in her adoption fee. If you were to adopt in October, you would get an additional discount. If you're interested in Gracie, you can meet her at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Our next guest is Roxy, and she has earned the nickname Wigglebutt, Wiggleworm, any of those things that have wiggle in them, because as soon as she sees a person, she gets so excited. Her body starts turning all kinds of ways. She just is constantly wiggling, super excited. She is a submissive dog, so when she gets really excited, sometimes she pees a little bit on the floor, just because she's so excited. She can be a little bit nervous in new situations, new environments, but she likes that kind of very gentle, baby talk to make her feel safe, and then she kind of warms up. It didn't take her that long to get comfortable here in the shelter environment. She is a puppy. She's only 8 months old. She is a fawn and white, I believe she's a pit bull Aussie mix, and she came to us through absolutely no fault of her own. Her owner actually passed away, and the next of kin filled out a profile to the best of their knowledge. So she did live previously with a cat, and there's a note that says the cat didn't like the dog, but the dog was fine with the cat. She's been around other dogs and likes to play with them. She's lived with or been around with children from a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 1-year-old. So she has had that experience as well. They say that she is a playful, energetic, friendly dog. She knows how to walk on a leash, although we've noticed that she does pull a little bit here in the shelter. She's a jumper and a chewer, which are just typical dog things, but also things that can be helped with some just basic good manners training, puppy training, things like that. They say that she is mostly house trained, but not yet crate trained. And she is very, very excited. Again, she does pee when she gets a little excited. Our behavior assessment of her, which we do for all the dogs, found that she's not keeping her kennel clean here, so just definitely reinforcing that. She reacts favorably to other dogs. She play bows, gets excited, her tail wags. She is jumpy and excited when you try to leash her up, so that makes it a little bit more of a difficult task. She pulls and jumps up on people when she's walking. She does not have any issues with food aggression. She willingly lets go of objects during her object guarding test, and she loves to be petted, and she, gets a little bit of playful arousal there. She's very sweet. She just needs some puppy classes. Any of our puppies are adopted for a fee of $150. So if you're interested in Roxy, you can visit her here at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. People have been asking when we're going to get some small dogs in, and now we have one. The one and only small dog on the floor right now is Cocoa Bean. She is a 5 to 6 month old Chihuahua mix puppy. She is tan in color, and she is about 14 pounds right now, so she could get a little bit bigger. She's color-coded green, which just means, she's a puppy. She has that higher puppy energy. And then she can be a little cautious at first, but she warms up pretty quickly. Just takes her a little coaxing, when you're getting her out of the kennel and things like that. She was previously owned, but we do not have a profile for her. Our behavior assessment indicates that she does keep her kennel clean, but you always want to make sure you're doing rehouse training in your own home. She's friendly and excited in her kennel. She reacts favorably to other dogs or has no reaction at all. She's easy to obtain, although a little bit shy at times. Easy to walk. No issues with food aggression, willingly gives up objects during object guarding testing. She leans in, enjoys pets. She'll jump right up on your lap. If you're looking for a dog that's going to sit on your lap, then Cocoa Bean would probably be the best option for you right now. When handling her feet and her mouth, she just did a little bit of resisting, pulling away, which is fairly typical, fairly common stuff. Because she is a puppy, and a small dog doesn't necessarily mean that you don't need to train her. All dogs need to have some of those basics for their safety, as well as just it's mentally stimulating for them, it's good enrichment, and it's just good for them to have those basics and boundaries so that there's no issues in the future. So teaching her a sit, a stay, a down, all of those things are going to be helpful. So maybe if you're opening the door and she knows the sit and stay, she's not going to run out the front door. She, even though she's a small dog, she could still be jumping up all over people when people come into your home. So making sure she has those basics down is going to be important. Oftentimes people forget to train their small dogs because they think they're going to be more easily manageable, but they should still have good basic puppy manners. Because she is a puppy, she would be adopted for a fee of $150. All of our puppies go through our puppy process, which means that we are going to take more applications. We take up to 4 applications for each puppy, and then we choose the best fit for the dog from that group. We want to make sure that everyone is prepared to provide all of that training that is necessary for a puppy. If you're interested in Cocoa Bean, you can visit her here at the shelter. Our address is 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Our final guest today is Hooch, and this is kind of what you get with Hooch. If you see him in his kennel, however, he's a lot more nervous in his kennel. He's not really as fond of other dogs in his kennel. He can kind of bark at strangers and things like that. But outside of his kennel, this is what you get. He's much more relaxed. He's much more playful. He does respond better to strangers and other animals. So you should never judge a dog by their kennel behavior. It is very stressful in there. There's so many smells. They're confined. There's just a lot of things going on internally for them. Outside, I met Hooch for the first time outside. He came right up, kind of jumped up on me gently, like to give a little hug. He sat for me on cue, and we played fetch. You toss the ball, he'll bring it back to you. He drops it nicely. So that's what he's like when you meet him for the first time outside. Inside, again, is going to be a little bit different. He is about 2.5 years old. He is a tan pit bull mix. He weighs 63 pounds. So he's not the smallest dog, but he's definitely not a he's not the biggest dog, but he's definitely not a small dog either. As you can see, he's very playful. He should probably be supervised with certain toys, as he's already destroying that one. He's already pulled a piece of the rope off. Just because you want to make sure that they're not going to be able to accidentally swallow something or choke on something and injure themselves if they're unattended with those types of toys. We do walk him on a harness because he can pull a little bit, so this just is safer for him. It also gives us a little bit more control. He was previously owned. He was surrendered because the owner was moving, and they've said they had him for 15 months. He did previously live with another dog, a 12-year-old Pomeranian mix, and he's lived with children as well. They basically say he's kind of a dog. He's a chewer, chaser, roamer, wanderer, friendly, jumper, playful, energetic. He pulls when he walks on a leash. He's friendly. He just needs some manners, basically. It's really important. We've talked about the training with the other dogs on the show today as well, but he still needs some of those basic puppy classes. He needs someone to set boundaries, and it's okay to set boundaries with your animals in your home, but just making sure that we're learning to treat them with respect and things like that, and doing a training program that's going to be best for the individual dog's temperament and personality. We always recommend force-free positive reinforcement training. If you are interested in Hooch, you can visit him here at the shelter. We are open to the public 6 days a week, so Monday, Tuesday, and Friday we're open. The kennels are open till 10 to 5. On Wednesday and Thursday they're open from 12 to 8, and on Saturdays they're open from 10 to 4. We hope that you enjoyed meeting some of our adoptable animals on the show today. There are plenty more to choose from, so you can always stop in and visit, and we will be back again next week with some more FCAC residents to show to you.
Hi, I'm Tracy, and this is Catherine. We are Frederick County 911 dispatchers, and we're here to tell you what to expect when dialing 911.
We're on the line to listen, and we also have important instructions to give you. Your 911 operator needs to get essential information from you as quickly as possible by asking the following questions in this order.
What is the address of the emergency so we can send the right help to the right location? What is the phone number you're calling from? If the line disconnects, we may need to call you back. What is your name so we can address you properly? And tell me exactly what happened. Asking these questions allows operators to start dispatch to emergencies quickly.
Your 911 operator is often working closely with one or more dispatchers, obtaining important information which is relayed to responders who are on the way to your location while you are still on the phone.
This process is repeated on each call to ensure responders get to each emergency as quickly and safely as possible with the right information to provide the best service they can.
Law enforcement, fire and rescue, and other responders rely on 911 operators and dispatchers to obtain specific information that varies with each type of call. Sometimes it may seem as though your 911 operator is asking a series of unnecessary questions, but in fact this information is vital for getting the right help sent to the right place. Often, help is already on the way while your 911 operator is talking to you.
While emergency crews are responding, dispatchers continue to provide them with updated information gathered by your 911 operator.
Also, your 911 operator may be able to provide you with important life-saving direction, from how to safely exit a building on fire to CPR instruction, providing important information for staying safe and out of danger during a vehicle accident, as well as helping a caller deliver a baby.
For more information, visit frederickcountymd.gov/911 or call the non-emergency number at 301-600-1603.